Hey guys, it's Kale here, coming at you with a quick and in-depth guide for creating the most efficient Sulfite farmer imaginable. I needed to come up with this character after I noticed that the speed and survivability of my Delving character was not nearly high enough to gather my Sulfite and get back into the Azurite mine to continue farming fat stacks of chaos. I will have a big tip to help you save a ton of money as well on gathering Sulfite. It took me entirely too long to hear about it. So the first thing you need is a second character that can access maps. The level isn't super important, but it is better to have a higher level. If you've, leveled a secondary character, whether it be an assassin or a raider, preferably, a scion will work as well. Having a raider as a ranger will help you quite a bit because you get onslaught and phasing permanently, as well as ailment immunity, a lot of survivability. As a scion, you would just grab the Juggernaut and Raider Ascendancies as well, just for the, again, tankiness and movement speed. To start off with, you go through and you grab each and every movement speed node you can find on the tree to ensure you are absolutely zooming. This may seem weird, but this character is made to not kill anything. It is made to move, evade, and survive long enough to get in and out of a map in under a minute maximum. The next section is the gear. None of it is really costly. It can just be a hassle to get your hands on the pieces depending on the listings and availability. You know how the trade site is, All of it together might run you the price of like a single fractured fossil, maybe 1.5 to 2x, but that's more than worth the time you save by having this type of character. Trust me. Also, it is insanely fun to run like Barry Allen. It is absolutely astonishing how fast you move, even in your hideout. Like, this is baseline movement speed with just phase run up right now. It is quite nice. Now, for the gear, almost every single piece is a unique. They're the pretty common ones, not super expensive, not super crazy, save for the weapon and the offhand. You're going to want to go with a Steelwood bow for the movement speed implicit, as well as a Redeemer movement speed mod. Nothing else matters. On the offhand, you want to grab a regular quiver with and again, just another movement speed modifier on it. Each and every small bonus you get will be multiplied quite well by Berserk. You see when I pop that with my flasks here. Throw down a smoke mine, the movement speed just multiplies insanely. So I just have one here with 10% movement speed. Life helps, resistance helps, but that's pretty much what you're looking for on those two items. For the helm, you go with the Devoto's Devotion. That is a Chaos Res and movement speed helm with a lot of dexterity to help with the requirements of that. And of course, you get Mercury Footprints, which is, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Love to see it. For the body armor, you're going to be using a Queen of the Forest, and I'll go over that and why we use that in the flask section coming up next. For the gloves, I went with Baruso's Battering Rams, which is these right here. The only important mod is just the 4% movement speed. You can roll it to 5 if you want. It's not a huge deal, just helps out a lot. Increased life is just an implicit that I found. I don't know, didn't really matter that much. I was just going for anything with movement speed on it. Okay, so for the boots, the clear winner is the 7 League Steps. If you can get a lab enchant piece with movement speed, that is absolutely insane. I don't have them because I can't be asked buying them. That sounds like a lot of work. So I went with a very cheap corruption with a socketed AoE. Aura or Duration Gems would work for this, which is going to be used with Enlighten and Empower here, or the Vol Haste and Grace that I'll go over later. For the amulet, you want to go with a warped timepiece with either a corrupted movement speed implicit or one that has precision anointed, because that is on the opposite side of the tree and one of the only movement speed nodes that we actually cannot access. For both of the rings, we go with the Highwaymen's, as they are, once again, a movement speed item. Never would have guessed. For the belt, you want to go with a String of Servitude with movement speed during flask effect implicit. Looks like this. It'll say 12 if you mouse over it, but it's 36 because everything gets tripled. That is an absolute banger of an item right here. The increased movement speed during any flask effect is added on top of any of the flasks that you use, whether it be a Quicksilver or not. For the jewels, you will need an Assassin's Haste. RMR is preferred on all of these if you can get it, just so that you can fit in your auras with the Empower. If not, just take out the Empower. It should be way easier that way. You need 2 Tempered Spirits, a Lethal Pride under a Koya. The number does not matter. It's like this right here. It'll just say commanded leadership over blank number warriors under a Koya. That is the only important part, so that we can grab Chainbreaker, which basically enables us to use Rage at whatever level your mana allows. I have 42 mana available, so I can only use it at like level 5, I believe. But it's just a massive more multiplier to our movement speed. It helps quite a bit. And then a Watcher's Eye with increased movement speed while affected by Grace. That is the only important mod. You don't really need the life or energy shield. Once again, just quality of life type stuff. Let me find out where I have it here, actually. So this right here, it just says increased movement speed while affected by Grace. The roll was up to 15%. I just went for that. It was very cheap. Everything on this character was probably less than 40C each by far. Okay, so moving on to the flasks. We go with a Jade Flask to get more baseline evasion, a Quartz Flask to help us not get hit through the dodge and also just the extra phasing, a Stibnite to stack even more evasion, once again, and then 2 Quicksilver Flasks. I have one with Staunching because you can get bled on vulnerability maps very easily, and then I use an Adrenaline one for the extra MS. But having that Staunching immunity is... It's really nice when you're running along, you get hit, you're bleeding, you're moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, you don't notice, and then you're dead instantly. We use a set of flasks to boost our evasion up by a massive amount to make our chess piece, the Queen of the Forest, which I mentioned earlier, give us that 50% maximum increased movement speed overall. It says 25% reduced, but then it is increased by our amount of evasion that we have up to 75%. So our evasion is most definitely going to be meeting that threshold. I think I have like 90,000 just sitting here, or I guess 49k, 49.5, but then during flask effect, you know, it adds all that crazy stuff that I was mentioning earlier. Okay, so the top 3 important things to round off this entire process that will save you a ton of money is the Watchstones, utilizing the park map, and adding sacrifice fragments to your map for the quantity. You do not want to use Nico missions. You want to invest in Sulfite Scarabs. Those 2 things are very important for in-game Sulfite farming. Early farming, less money, it's fine. You can go ahead and use Nico missions, but if you want to save yourself time, if you want to be efficient, everything like that, you are definitely going to want to go with Gilded Sulfite Scarabs. Don't skimp. They are very cheap this league. It is quite nice. Very good for delving. The reason we use the park map is because it is by far the best layout within the Lex Proxima region. It is tiny, it is a square, and you just run right through, you grab the 3 Azurite nodes, and you portal out, or you die and get teleported out for free. You know, it's quite nice. We go there to grab the, we go to Lex Proxima, sorry, to grab the Rich Veins Double Sulfite node, which is right here. This has a chance, 10% chance to give us double Sulfite, and then 20% increased as well, which is absolutely absurdly nice. And the next thing is the Watchstones. You want Voltaxic Sulfite veins and chests in areas have 6% chance to contain double Sulfite on all of these. So that is a 34% chance to contain double Sulfite. You will be getting between like 7 to 9k once a map on average, which is an absolutely absurd amount if you are using chisels on your map, alking, and then voling anything that doesn't have a roll, you know, above like 82 or so. Okay, like I said, rolling these maps is incredibly easy. You want to ensure that you're adding chisels for the extra 20% quantity before you alk, before you vol, so you use less, and so that you can actually access, you know, increasing the quantity with chisels before voling it. The quantity is the determining factor of how much each node of Sulfite is going to give you. Higher tier maps can roll higher quantity modifiers, so if you're rolling, say, a T1 map, you can roll upwards of like, you know, 80% quant, whereas that is the normal amount to roll on something like a T16 map. So T16 is optimal for running park. Getting started without the Watchstones and maps, just doing normal Nico missions is absolutely acceptable if you want to save some money early on. That is totally fine. Don't stress about it, but getting the gear is what's important on this character. And now I can actually give you guys a very quick tutorial run on how I do my maps here. I think I already have some parks rolled. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so I have 58. So this one, I corrupted. None of the mods matter. No region doesn't really matter. No reflect, we're not doing any damage. All we're doing is surviving and grabbing stuff, and I will show you guys how that works. Seems I'm actually out of sack fragments, so I'll just use one of these. You just throw these in. None of this matters. This doesn't matter if you have it on or off. You go in, and then what you do is you zoom incredibly quickly using your flasks, using phase run, and on left click, which is incredibly helpful. Occasionally you'll die. That's what Cast on Death Portal's for. That's a very rippy map, 121% quant, vulnerability, things like that. But basically you're just going to be zooming around, waiting until you have a little bit of rage, pressing Berserk, grabbing your Sulfite, and moving along. And I'm getting 0 because I'm already full. I was running these just earlier for my Delver. But basically that is the entirety of the map. It's that fast. It is absolutely absurd. Even the movement speed in town is insanely high compared to pretty much any other character. As you'll see here, this character is actually just zooming through town. But that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do the things that help the YouTube algorithms. You know, circulate the videos, blow it up, you know. Join the Discord if you can. I will be live on Twitch pretty much every day, mid-afternoon or so. Lately it's been kind of later than that, but I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule here. Okay, bear with me. Bear with me on that one. And that's pretty much it. There will be a link to the POB that I have set up for this character and everything that I talked about in the description for the exact tree and all of the jewels and everything like that.